Hey everybody, my name is Emma. Thank you for coming to my channel. This is my knitting podcast episode 3, and I know I said in my last episode that I was shooting for 2 weeks in between, and this is more like a week and a half, but special circumstances. I finished a sweater. It is my Lakes Pullover by Ozetta, and you can see a lot more about this in my last knitting podcast episode 2. And I love it, but it's just a little bit too oversized for my preferences. So I have actually already rehomed this sweater, and I want to get it out in the mail to its very excited new owner. So I wanted to hop on quick and show you guys the finished product before I send it off. And I will be remaking this in a smaller size or with a smaller yarn, but here she is. It's just perfect. I love this color so much, and I felt like it looked really good on me. I'll put up a video over here that I posted on my Instagram, which, by the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is at Emma Larissa blog, Emma Larissa blog, I believe, and I'll put it down here. And I just share a lot more like day to day about my knitting, my sewing, my small shop, and just what I get up to there. So it's really good in real time if you're interested. But this is, oh, so cozy and fuzzy, and I loved it so much. I am really sad to let it go, but I'm excited to make it again, just a little bit smaller, make some changes that will make it perfect for my preferences. Things to note on the pattern that I ran into is the sleeves were really short on me. Like, it says to knit 13 inches doing your decreases in the underarm, and which is to about like right here, and I added another inch, and then I added 2.5 more inches on the ribbing to get the full length sleeve that I wanted. So yeah, just something for me to note the next time, that it definitely was a shorter sleeve than I preferred. So I'll be definitely taking that into account on Lakes Pullover Take 2, and this one will go off to its very excited new owner. I also think my next one that I will probably make it a little bit longer too. But that is all I have for finished objects today. I do, however, have some really exciting whips. The first one being, and you didn't even see this one last time. This one wasn't even on my radar last time. This is my Cumulus Blouse. How do people do this? My Cumulus Blouse by Petite Knit, which is the V-neck version and knit in 18 stitch gauge, I believe. So that would technically be a worsted weight, I believe. And I am using Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in their color Camel, which this by itself is meant to be a worsted weight yarn, but I don't find it to be. I have heard this from other people, find it to be a very light worsted weight, and I'm holding it with their comparable soft silk mohair in the color Camel. Camel. They don't have the exact name because they're not identical, but I think they are pretty stinking close. So this is knit. You cast on, for my size, I did the size 3. So you cast on your starter amount of stitches, you divide for your raglans, and you knit back and forth flat until until about right here, and then you join it in the round, and you're increasing for your sleeves, you're increasing for your neckline every other round. And it just creates this really nice V-neck, which will be finished with I-cord edging, which I have not actually done yet. So I'm apprehensive and excited. I'm sure there will be a really good YouTube video that will teach me how to do it. So if you have any suggestions on learning the I-cord I-cord edging, just leave them below for me, please. So that is my main work in progress right now. I am obsessed with it, and just the first one I grabbed for. I should also note I am not wearing one of my knits today because I wore my Monday sweater last week and it's just a little bit too warm for it today. But I am wearing a shirt that I made. This is just my really nice raglan cut tee, but I made it into a 3/4 sleeve. It's made out of 100% cotton, and this is the kind of stuff that I mainly do on my Instagram. I have a small shop where I make handmade clothes, so that is something you'd see a lot of on my Instagram. So hopefully next time I'll be wearing my Cumulus blouse as a finished object. Here's hoping. It's moving pretty quickly. At the gauge, you make pretty quick progress. I am just grabbing my next work in progress, which you would have seen last week as well. It is my Oslo hat for my husband, and I have made pretty significant progress since you would have seen it last. It was just a little strip of stockinette when you saw it last, and I have done the cuff, doubled it, and it's folded up now. I did a bit of the stitching in the pomegranate and have switched to the thundercloud that he wanted for the head portion. So this is Knitting for Olive merino held a double, and this is in the color pomegranate, and this is in the color thunder, and it is going to be the Oslo hat, which is your really awesome standard Carhartt style beanie, and he is very excited about that. I am knitting him in between the size women's small and the child, because he likes his hats really tight fitting but didn't want a ribbed hat. And so far he is really liking how this fits, and we have experienced Knitting for Olive growing quite a lot in hat knits, so that is the plan for that one. I am making a tiny bit of progress on another Oslo hat. This is a Christmas gift for one of my nephews. Just making slow progress here. When I sit down to knit, I try to do a row on this, several rows on my husband's, and then knit for however long I'm able to sit down yet on my Cumulus blouse, because that's the one I'm most excited about. So I have that one. I still have my socks, but honestly, I don't think I have made any progress on them since last week. This is still just the Summerly I'm So Basic sock pattern with Patton's Croy sock yarn in the color Mid-Century, and I really enjoy that one. Gosh, is that it for my works in progress? Just 3? I actually went to cast on another hat and a tank top, but they both needed 3.5mm needles, and I only have 2, both my Knit Picks metals and my Knit Picks wooden, and they're both in use on these Oslo hats. So I'm thinking that I'm going to get another just the needles to go with my interchangeable sets for the Knit Picks interchangeables, because I really like them. I've been extremely happy with them, and 3.5mm just seems to be one of the ones that I use the most. So I'm hoping I can sneak that into the budget somewhere. Then for acquisitions, I just have this sweater quantity of mohair. This is Drops Kid Silk, Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk, I'm sorry. This is what my son wanted in his sweater. And you would have seen the yarn for that in my last acquisitions. It is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the color Tranquil. And it's going to be marled with that color. And he picked colors, so I haven't actually swatched with them together yet, but I swatched with the Wool of the Andes individually, and I know that I need a lace weight to meet gauge. So I had him pick out the color of that, and it's going to be kind of a marled effect, and I'm hopeful it looks okay. But he's excited about it. He's gonna love it. So, oh, that's the other thing I wanted to cast on was his sweater, but I need another 3.5. I will be shopping after this video. Yes. And then next week or 2 weeks from now, whenever I film next, you will see a lot more works in progress on the needles, I'm sure. But right now I am shopping for yarn to do another Monday sweater. And I also am thinking about doing a DRK everyday sweater. And I also want to do a step-by-step cardigan by Handmade for Florence. And I'll leave all these below. But I really am excited because I wanted to make a cardigan for so long. But the button bands just intimidate me so badly that I kind of need to see somebody do something in order to like really understand what I'm reading. So Handmade by Florence has a whole step-by-step over an hour-long tutorial of her cardigan pattern, as well as a lot of her other patterns, I believe. Check out her channel, it's great. And I'm really excited to be able to purchase that pattern. It's a style that I really like, and be able to have that step-by-step visual guide to accompany the written pattern. And I think that is just going to be so much easier for me. So I am leaning towards using Drops Nepal for the step-by-step cardigan. And then I'm thinking about using Drops Daisy for the DRK everyday sweater, as I believe that calls for a DK weight, and the Drops Daisy is a DK. But I am struggling with what to do for the Monday sweater because I cannot meet gauge with a fingering and a lace for the Monday sweater. So I kind of have to go up to a DK for that, but I don't want to use a really soft merino at a DK and then have like the underarm felting and a lot of pilling. So if I add in a mohair with that, then I'm at a higher gauge more than likely. So if you have any advice for this really tight knitter for the Monday sweater, that would be great. I am trying to be very conscious and knit looser, but it's not enough. I just gauge swatched for it with a fingering and a mohair, and I am half an inch shy on the prescribed needles, and I just really don't want to go up a needle size because then the gauge is too open, the stitches are too open, and I just don't like the look of it. So I'm kind of torn on what to do there. So if you have any advice for me on that, I would definitely appreciate it. I am almost done watching Gilmore Girls. I think I have like 6 more episodes on season 7, and then just the, is it the day in the life? The year in the life add-on season. I have that to watch yet. And it is just so cozy to watch Gilmore Girls and work on my knits. I am reading a little bit. The new book by Rebecca Yarros, Variation, just came in the mail today, and I'm so excited. Rebecca Yarros is one of my absolute favorite authors, so I really recommend that you try anything by her. If you're into fantasy, fantasy romance, her Fourth Wing and Iron Flame books are part of a series she's doing, and the third one comes out in January, and it's amazing. If you're into contemporary romance, she's got so many of those, and they're just perfect. You cannot go wrong. But I do suggest starting with her Flight and Glory series. And if you don't want books that make you cry, don't read The Last Letter. Do not read The Last Letter. But seriously, she's an amazing author. I definitely suggest you check her out if you're looking for either contemporary romance or fantasy romance, and you'll not be disappointed. But I think that is all for me today. And just a quick short video, show you guys the sweater before I send it in the mail. I really appreciate you guys being here again with me, and I cannot wait to see you next time. It would mean a lot to me if you could hit like and subscribe to this channel if you like my videos and want to see more. It really helps my channel grow, and I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here.